Hello, everyone. This is Jim Okerzinski with your weekly lecture video. Please pardon my tardiness with this lecture video. It's been a busy week across all my courses, and I have been slowly and methodically reading through all the annotated bibliographies that were uploaded on Sunday. So, take a few minutes here, and I'd like to begin with the discussion board 13. We're moving into chapter 3. I'm asking everyone to engage with a couple of sections here, your voice and theirs, using sources responsibly, pages 84 to 85, and of course the note takers triad. I think it's really important. Everybody's done a fine job of locating source material, identifying the qualifications to establish reliability and credibility. Also, the summaries have been excellent in most cases, and always the relevance and how it'll contribute to the research topic has been excellent. So now that you dig into the sources a little bit more and start working with that information, Ballinger, I really think this is my favorite chapter and Ballinger's favorite chapter in the book, because what it does is it allows us to start working with that source material. And when we say about writing in the middle, it's how you work with your information, your thoughts, your analysis, your explanations, your evaluations, and your interpretations of your source material, so that way you can blend that into your research essay. That way you control the conversation and you use your source information to support your assertions. And that's what the research essay and the research process is all about. So one thing I want to begin here with using sources responsibly. Remember, and we're going to really dive into this over the next few weeks about how we use source material. First item is that we have attribution tags. According to Smith argues, Johnson reported that, and so forth and so on, that we work with authors. It's better to have an academic conversation with authors. Most of the sources that I've been looking at in the annotated bibliographies have been authored sources, and it's easier to have a conversation when you are doing it with a person on the other side of your source information. As always, quotation marks to signal exact quotes. And then we have citation. We'll be working on that in the next few weeks. We have in text and then also your works cited. Citations, your end citations at the end of your research essay, the basic citations that you have in your annotated bibliography. We'll get into the principles of citation in a little bit. You may want to drift on down in a couple of weeks. There is a, let me get there real quickly. There is a page in the chapter 4 section there, right here, MLA resources. I have some information on how, what I call the principles of citation, how we in-text, bracket, and also cross-reference source materials. But that'll be coming up when we get ready to draft in a couple of weeks. So let me get back to the discussion board here. Excuse me, moving around a bit. And the triad here. All right, so we're going to start working with that information and how to work with those sources. The section here, taxonomy of copying, is a little, it's worth a read and think about that. Also, we want to touch on plagiarism. This goes for all sorts of plagiarism. Using sources improperly. It may not be an intentional process, but nonetheless, if you do not handle your sources properly, quoting, paraphrasing, or summarizing a citation, that becomes an issue, right? So, Note Takers Triad is a great section here about paraphrasing, summarizing, and using quotes. Quotes really have to make an impact, and Ballinger makes that point here in the textbook about quoting selectively, providing your context. I don't know if people have had the experience with what we call the quote hamburger. It's kind of a rudimentary concept, but it works on how we bracket our quoted information by having an assertion, a lead in, the actual quote, and then the analysis, evaluation, interpretation of that quote and what it means to your research topic on the backside, the follow up, right? So it's important to take a look at this section and understand that, because using sources is really important. Just a brief touch here. I don't want to get too long on this lecture video about note-taking skills or methods. Always an interesting quote or a story here from Kenneth Burke, a famed rhetorician, about really what we do in education, or what we do here in academia. It really is the unending conversation, and it's exactly how you can apply this little tale to your academic efforts throughout your just throughout your academic career. So you want to, like I said, for your initial post, write 350 words discussing the prompts in an above organized paragraph structure by the due date listed. So I think that's pretty straightforward. Many people have already completed this. For this unit, one thing I do want to touch on, since I have everyone's attention, hopefully in this particular unit here, lecture video, I should say. The double entry journal is coming up on 11/7. I had an inquiry or two about it. It's Tuesday. It is due. I've uploaded a template for a Word document. You can download it and save it to your drive and work in it and use that for the double entry journal. I have an instructional video here that might fill in some blanks for the double entry journal. It is an older version, so some of the content may or may not apply. Probably a remnant of the pandemic. And then I have an example of the double entry journal here for you also. So it's like 3 sources, 3 quotes, paraphrases, or summarizes from each source. Therefore, if my math is correct, that would be 9 entries along with your corresponding analysis or commentary. All right, so that's pretty straightforward. And start working with your source material. You might want to do this with more sources on your own. That's entirely up to you. But this is how you get some information together to start compiling it to upload or work into your research essay. All right. All right, that's all I have right now for this week in this week's lecture video. If you have any questions, please send me an email.